as I was walking across the parking lot. I made a joke about their U-Haul trailer not having a boat on it because, well, we're in a boating area. We had a little bit of weather earlier, so everybody come off the river. They don't really bring the boats over to this side, though. I'm assuming that has something to do with those marker buoys. Right down here, on that side on this side of the river. This is the spot where I found that rapid claw. It's not about the rocks though, and it's not actually about the $100. Now, although the $100 is nice, it is helpful. I am going to go use it to buy myself a car battery. Depends on if one of the folks at Starbucks is able to give me a ride, because obviously I can't carry it 2 miles from Walmart to my car. But despite the fact that you can tell me that I have to do it all myself, but well, there's dependency issues because of injuries. And that very much creates an issue for me. Now, the $100 comes from a couple of gentlemen who they were going to get a car. So the gentleman stopped and he showed me their Datsuns. He's got a couple of Datsuns already and he's going to get this one for a parts store. But because I made the joke about the boat trailer, it wasn't a boat trailer, it was a car trailer, but there was like 4 vehicles or boats that drove past just while I was talking to them. So, of course, they got the joke. And after they gave me $100, told me I was an interesting feller. Well, maybe I'm interesting, I suppose. But they asked if they could pray for me. Now, as many of y'all know, I don't agree with most y'all's religions. But from time to time, I do ask for prayer for people. If that's what they ask for, the help they think they need, well, people know what help they need better than I do. I'm not in their situation, they are. So when they have an issue, I need to listen to them. Oh wow, that is a big slug. Not sure if you guys have ever seen the slugs here. This is actually a little one. I don't want to hurt him, but he's about maybe a third of the size of the ones in Washington. Oh, you can see it. Oh, I don't want to squish him. Anyway, I like nature. I like taking walks in nature. My ability to do so is greatly diminished. When I say I need help, I mean actual help. Oh, I found another decent rock. There's a few of these actually. They crack in half pretty easily, and sometimes they got something cool inside. But you gotta crack open about 100 rocks to find the ones with cool stuff inside. This one right here's got iron ferrite. Quite a bit of it actually. That's what the black coloration is from. You can also see rust coloration in it. Let me see if I can get it at a good angle where you can see it. Anyway, the whole point is not that I was given $100 or that those people prayed for me. It's the point to be made that prayer alone does nothing. That $100 does me more help, more good than their prayers. That doesn't mean that they're bad people for praying, and that doesn't mean that their understanding is necessarily wrong just because it's different from mine. However, if there's a court situation that they needed to go to, and there was a situation that they were involved in, and they were to ask for my help, well, they would get it. But that also depends on the help that they're asking for, because a lot of people want you to do immoral things, and that's not okay. When people to ask you to lie in court. Chloe Roma of Roma's Army. I've been a supporter of hers for a while, but she says that false accusations hurt everyone and that we need to speak up and that we need to come forward for the victims and be actively involved. And then she wants to go trying to tell people not to be honest, not to tell the truth. That's not okay. A lot of people who wanted to help me claim to be Christians. It's not the Christians that I learned about growing up that are supposed to exist, but the reality of Christianity. The reality is a lot of people use that religion and that religious mumbo jumbo to manipulate others. A lot of these people are drug addicts, not all of them. You don't have to be a drug addict to be a manipulator, a user, or an abuser. Just like you don't have to be male to be an abuser. Just because you're not a Christian doesn't mean that you're an abuser. This is a cool rock. It's multicolored. I wish I had a way to actually show you in high definition how cool these rocks are. Somebody was telling me most of these are from the Mesozoic era. I would have assumed Cretaceous, but given the volcanic activity in the area and the fact that much of this soil has been tilled and retilled naturally, obviously, landslides and earthquakes and stuff like that, it's difficult to tell what era these exactly came from because they're kind of mixed up with each other. Now we live in a mess like that, a mess where people want to condemn themselves to small groups and fight just for the rights of the people within that group. Those are the people that matter and nobody else. Unfortunately, that damages us all. When one person matters and another person doesn't, we've got major issues. Now, I've got a lot of dead friends, and those people are dead because people didn't want to do their jobs. They didn't want to look at evidence. They didn't want to listen to the other victims. I've had a lot of people victimize me over things that I didn't do. And of course, my predators are able to slander my name, and I'm not even allowed to be there to defend myself against that slander. I'm illegally prevented from doing anything to defend myself because of the term mentally ill. Between looking at evidence and claiming I'm schizophrenic, they claim I'm schizophrenic. They pretend that evidence that is blatantly and obviously on YouTube, they're able to keep it out of court and pretend it doesn't exist. Pretend that I'm schizophrenic for claiming that it exists, and yet it does exist. It is on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of people who do horrible things. Many of them, they do it in the name of Jesus. How horrible is that? Those people this morning, they didn't just want to pray for me, and they didn't accuse me of being a devil worshiper and accuse me of being some sort of a child molesting, rapist, sick son of, No, all they were interested in was a good laugh. They thought it was funny. $100. Well, that's just a bonus. Obviously, not all Christians are bad people, and obviously that $100 is what makes them good people. And neither is the prayer. A lot of y'all say it's the thought that counts. Well, no, it's not. I'm going to give you the example of the diabetic man with the shoes. So this man's got diabetes, and he needs special shoes. If he doesn't get these special shoes in the next 2 weeks, they're going to amputate his feet. So, he he's got a friend who promises that he'll get them shoes for him in the next 2 weeks. Well, 6 months down the road, that friend's been ignoring him for 6 months. That man had his feet lopped off, and he's sad and depressed. And his friend shows up, and he's got those shoes. And he wants to be angry that you, the man with no feet, won't put on the shoes, take a picture to show what a good thing this person did. Oh, thank you for these shoes, but they don't do me any good. I don't have any feet to put them on. And now you want to be angry because after you procrastinated for all this time and there were consequences? We don't live in a world of one. There are consequences for everything. The consequences of your actions and your decisions and your beliefs and your opinions. Those opinions are the most important. They're more important than your actions because it is those thoughts that bring forth such actions. It is those beliefs that bring forth such actions. Let's see if we can just skip a rock from all the way up here without fucking up my back more. Probably not, but I'm gonna try it. Oh my god. Anyway, that $100 is gonna go to buying myself a battery for my vehicle. I was able to get the stuff that Meg needed to help me out with my insurance. Of course, the most important thing I need her for is to speak out, especially about the situation there in Sidney, Nebraska, and her helping me to get the room and why. Literally all 4 of the predators I was trying to turn in, and she can verify I was trying to turn in at least 3 of them. And those predators work together to prevent me from doing so. The fact that 2 of them are law enforcement, 1 of them is prior law enforcement, and 1 of them is a registered sex offender who's friends with Leslie Snell, kind of puts a damper on things. That $100 isn't going to get me out of this screwed up situation. I mean, it's cost me literally thousands of dollars. I'm literally thousands of dollars in debt because I'm not allowed to defend myself. I'm expected to pay that. Meanwhile, I'm denied the ability to do so because of my disabilities. People aren't going to pay me as much as they pay you if they're willing to hire me at all. Then there's the long-term effects. A lot of people don't think about that at all. About how when your name is slandered like that, you're not allowed to defend yourself in court. You're not allowed to go to court. You're predators. And you were denied that right. I'm not going to pretend I never broke the law because I know for a goddamn fact I did. Out of necessity. And because I had to do so out of necessity, it is not against the law. Write that down. It's actually in the law books. In all 48 states. Did you like that? I wasn't alive when there was only 48 states. I was born in 1980. There was a full 50 states in 1980. But of course, when you say 48 or the lower 48 generally means that you're from Alaska. When you say the 48 states, that probably means that you were born prior to World War II. Alright, so I'm going to end this video. Good luck to y'all. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper.